Hello, and welcome to day 2 of the CityBUH 2021 Tool and Urban Innovation Conference. You can see where you are, I guess you know. We can't travel a lot, and we can't attend those beautiful site tours organized by the CityBUH during the conference or congress. So as we have to take always the positive sides of any situation, I bring you here, Central Paris, on the Tour Montparnasse, on the 53rd floor. Very interesting tower because it's the second highest in France with 209 meters high. One exceptional tower because mixed use in France, and also interesting because it's going to be refurbished for 2024 completely. La Nouvelle AOM will be in charge of this redesign. I'm myself Ariane Dinsdag, running my own company and founder of the CityBUH French chapter since a year and a half. Also honored to be jury member of the CityBUH 2021 Best Tool Building. Before we begin, I would like to sincerely thank this prestigious international company, Harrop, for kindly sponsoring this category this year. Please remember that all the presentation of the 3 sessions will be being judged by the jury with an overall category winner. In addition, each category will recognize an audience award and trophy. This is a premiere, first year that is happening. So please pay a special attention to all the projects you will be seeing over the sessions in this category of 100 and 109 to 199 meters, and vote the project you think is worthy in the category winner. You will find your personal ballot on the left corner of your screen under the audition voting tab. I invite you now for the first presentation, the Museum Tower Kyobashi in Tokyo. It is designed by the company Nikken Sekkei, presented by Masanori Yono, design director, and also Mr. Hiroshi Ishibashi from Nagasaki Corporation. It is an extremely elegant project, a right balance between modernity and tradition. It is also a very high simplicity to express an dense richness of details and traditions. Humility, but so delicate. Please listen to our 2 speakers.
Hello, I'm Hiroshi Ishibashi, President of Nagasaki Corporation and Ishibashi Foundation. I represent the co-owners of the Museum Tower Kyobashi in Tokyo, and I wish to thank you for giving me this wonderful and exceptional opportunity to introduce to you what we have accomplished.
Hello everyone, I'm Masanori Yano. I'm the design director of Nikken Sekkei, architect for this project. We are very honored and excited to be part of this event. We would like to present our achievement for our Museum Tower Kyobashi from here in Tokyo, Japan.
Museum Tower Kyobashi is a skyscraper of approximately 150 meters in height, and my 2 organizations share the 23-story building. A high-grade leasing space for business offices occupies the upper 2/3 of the building and is managed by Nagasaki Corporation. The lower 1/3 is occupied by Artisan Museum, one of the top art museums of the French and Japanese masterpieces in the country. The museum space is managed by Ishibashi Foundation. I will talk about the background and our criteria for this project first, and Mr. Yano will present with the architectural concepts and design details. The history of the piece of land on which the building stands today goes back to 1939, when Shojiro Ishibashi, the founder of Bridgestone Tire Company Limited, purchased it before he moved the company's head office from Kurume on the island of Kyushu to Tokyo. The location is ideal even today, as Kyobashi district is very close to the Tokyo station, which is the focal point of extensive railroad network in the nation. Kyobashi is a mainly business district, and an excellent access to nearby retail and cultural districts is available through Central Avenue. As a large-scale urban redevelopments have been proceeding in the area in recent years. Now I must talk briefly about the founder and my grandfather Shojiro Ishibashi. Shojiro was a real entrepreneur who expanded a small family footwear business to create Japan's top tire maker by the 1960s, and he did so by vigorously pursuing developing the technology, which was solely based on Japanese engineering. He naturally had a great interest in the latest technology for his tire making business, but he was also keen on modern architectural technology, which would enhance the company's productivity by providing comfort and safety to the office employees. In 1950, Shojiro Ishibashi visited the United States on business, and he was greatly inspired by what he saw in modern Western buildings of the time, such as the headquarters of the United Nations. In 1951, he completed the construction of the new head office building in Kyobashi, which adopted several new architectural technologies and used cutting-edge materials of that time. The 9-storied American-style building was one of the first high-rise architectures to appear in the post-war Japan and quickly became a hot subject in the industry. Here are some examples of new features introduced in the building. I understand this was the first building to adopt fluorescent light in Japan. Aside from being a successful businessman, Shojiro was also a true philanthropist. He was greatly inspired by art museums, which were thriving with people in American cities. So at the last moment, he decided to install a gallery in the new office building and opened Bridgestone Museum of Art, the predecessor of today's Artisan Museum. For him, his dedication to the culture in the society was a passionate personal mission, and he donated his entire art collection to the museum and founded Ishibashi Foundation in 1956 to manage it. Throughout his life, he built or financially supported to build a total of 4 art museums, including 2 national museums. Shojiro also founded Nagasaka Corporation and provided the best business environment for the organizations he managed. The new museum Tower Kyobashi was jointly built by Nagasaka Corporation and Ishibashi Foundation on this land where our history and tradition lived. The old building went through many phases of renovation during its existence, and this is the most recent view before it was demolished in 2015. In 2012, 60 years had passed since its construction. A decision was made to rebuild the architecture from the ground. In the wake of the big earthquake and tsunami of the previous year in 2011, our main focus was on disaster prevention and business continuity. When we embarked on the project in 2012, we decided to inherit the founder's philosophy as our DNA. We made it a goal to achieve an advanced architectural system using the best technology available at the time. Personally, I am an industrial designer, and it was my turn to complete an architecture with a high level of balance in design and function, which will survive through the future. Compartmentalized coexistence of the museum and the business zones was a prerequisite. To achieve our goal, we consigned Nikken Sekkei Group to furnish the best solution, which I hope to be a landmark in architectural design. Now, moving forward, our museum Tower Kyobashi is the first in a series of urban developments in the area. We will jointly form Kyobashi Saiku complex a center of art and culture for all, with Toda Company next door. The public space will connect the two buildings and eventually form Kyobashi Cycle in 2024. The core of the cultural collaboration in Kyobashi Cycle will be the Artisan Museum in the Museum Tower Kyobashi. As a public interest incorporated foundation, Ishibashi Foundation collects nearly 3,000 artworks from Japan, Asia, Middle East, Europe, and the United States and Australia. Under the new concept, experience and creativity, Artisan Museum is already one of Tokyo's most exciting art museums, and it presents a fountain of fascinating human creativity in a long history of art. Thank you, and now Mr. Yano will speak.
I'd like to tell you a little about the architectural design of Museum Tower Kyobashi. This skyscraper is consisting of office and museum. Before that, I want to show you the problems facing Japanese architecture and cities. First, how can we make new urban development coexist with history? Second, how to prepare and respond to natural disasters such as earthquakes. Third, how to promote sustainable development while contributing to carbon neutral. Finally, old work style and lifestyle in Japan, we must change them to more effectively, healthily, and culturally. For these issues, we are proposing the advanced skyscraper. The themes of the project are culture and historical values in cities and environmental issues. Even today, Kyobashi is an area where traditional festivals using the whole city and health. You will find an old town with a narrow alley passageway under a gallery since the Edo period. This is the previous situation of the city. Many small and medium-sized buildings and main streets are randomly mixed. We replaced an existing road, which we made more resistant to disasters, to create a larger open space compatible with arts and culture. One challenge was how to effectively use the allowable volume that was obtained through urban and cultural contributions. We wanted to bring out the originality of the area by taking advantage of the historical and cultural potential of the city. Therefore, by using the scale of small and medium-sized buildings, we decided to design different functions and materials stacked vertically and connect them to the city. The design opens horizontally to the city and the environment and extended the city vertically to the sky. We would like to talk about the details. This is a cityscape in Tokyo. Most skyscrapers are rectangular in form and are not unique. We once again thought about the icon of the skyscraper in Japan. From the iconic point of view, we apply three concepts: Japaneseness, environmental considerations, and connecting with the city. In Japan, there's a traditional screen called sudare. It is a phenomenal environmentally friendly device. We use this as a hint for exterior design. The high-rise facade is wrapped with the sudare made of aluminum. As seen in this cross-section, the building is composed of balconies and louvers from the 10th floor up to the roof. The facade design changes its appearance depending on the viewing angle, season, and time of day helps create an iconic design in Japan. This is an aerial view of Museum Tower. In the background, you can see Tokyo Station. It features a top curve. The structure and mechanical equipment are integrated into the shape sculpted by a sphere. Shape has three meanings. The first is the carving beauty of the Japanese roof. The second is a modern design like a sculpture. Third is to represent the globally success of the office tenants by introducing sculpted earth shape. Also, the top part shape is providing a hint to one of the important functions of this tower. The shapes of roofs support the functionality of the natural ventilation system performed throughout the building. By making the east and west side different heights, the seasonal use period can be extended. This potentially can be one of the strong solutions towards a post-COVID-19 office. In this way, the top design integrates the three elements of design, structure, and environment. The lower floors are made up of a stack of boxes reflecting the existing complexity of the Kyobashi area. Each box divided by function has a common vertical motif while the material and transparency changes. diversity and complexity of traditional Kyobashis recognized urban structure were reflected and introduced as part of their architectural design. I think it is important for this building to connect horizontally with the city and to let each stimulate the other. And I think that connecting to the city vertically is one of the unique attributes of this skyscraper. We have considered seriously how the facade of ecological age should be. We selected three concepts, being environmental, connecting inside and outside, life cycle. This is a typical floor, but there are three challenges with facade design from the interior: sunlight control, reduction of glare, and maintaining views. Traditional Japanese architecture has a space on the outer periphery, which is considered the space between the outside and the inside. This is made in consideration of climate and maintenance. In addition, there are cases where louvers called lattice are provided outside the building with similar functions. We were inspired by this design found in traditional architecture. The balconies outside the office have the function of equipment development space, maintenance, and solar control. The louvers are provided on the outside edge of the balconies. I'd like to explain the louver design process. This skyscraper facade is designed with only one aluminum profile like this. The entire facade was optimized for the environment through computational design. Have you ever been behind the waterfall? It is a very beautiful space that is transparent as the light is diffusely reflected. This was one of our images for inspiration. First, we thought that the optimal form of solar control should be defined depending on the east, west, north, and south directions. Next, we analyzed the louver from the interior, focused on human sightline and glare. We thought that the louver was better in dispersed shapes rather than in one large shape, and this was confirmed through simulation. As for the shape of the louver elements, light reflection, arrangement, rotation, etc. were analyzed simultaneously as a parametric design, and the optimum shape was obtained. This is not a form I like, but rather a form derived from a computer. There are many parameters to consider. For example, we used simulation to confirm views could be maintained. Eventually, 4 louvers were rotated or placed according to the facade direction, like this. All sections were interred at the factory. Balconies and louvers are considered to be very beneficial in extending the life cycle of a high-rise building. In that sense, the facade design is very sustainable. These are interior and exterior. This is a high-rise building that has been optimized for the environment and applies sustainable design strategy inspired by Japanese traditional elements. Next, how can you interact with nature in the office? Our strategy was not to establish a garden only on the top floor roof, but to expand it into a three-dimensional garden as a skip floor. Like this. A green atrium penetrates through the middle of the office. Green can be seen above or below. The 21st and 22nd floors have a garden surrounding the office. Of course, you can also go outside. The 23rd floor has a common area with a salon and a garden, which can be opened and used together with the outside garden area. We consider the roof garden as a special place, but also as a space open to workers. This office space is not a normal office with a suspended ceiling system. It is a completely new design that considers human health, working style, and safety. In short, the office concept is an open workspace. The key points are flexibility, free floor lines, daylighting from 4 sides, and a small storage space allowing safe evacuation. Of course, it is also important to have an open space with no columns. Here we have a 28-meter clear span. We believe that flexibility provides a new experience for tenant users. The space stimulates their way of working, and I think intellectual productivity can be improved and the worker experience can be enriched. There's no corridor. we targeted the office to be a bright, comfortable space that can easily access the core from two directions. This is actually a triathlon. The recessed ceiling space is created by installing mechanical equipment on the balcony. It also has the effect of stoking smoke, increasing the time for evacuating people safely. This building has undergone advanced certification of evacuation safety throughout the building. We have included natural ventilation, fresh air, and comfortable lighting design for occupant well-being. The entire highlights from top to bottom has introduced many environmentally friendly strategies. In addition, we paid attention to sustainability even in hidden places. The highlight floor slabs and balconies utilize precast concrete to reduce temporary materials required for construction. This is office entrance. There is a light wall using a louver from the facade design, but this is actually art in which light moves as office workers move in and out. The third floor is the office reception. In the office area, we placed artwork in various places and hope that it will stimulate the work style and lifestyle of users. The 60th floor has a different interior design for the common areas. This is the cafeteria. We use the louver concept and design visual separations with a transparent vertical motif. I'd like to tell you the Art Zone Museum. I thought, what should an urban art museum look like? The theme is an open museum, which is a philosophy for all aspects of this museum, such as the city, environment, information, etc. The space design is a three-dimensional array inspired by the array space of Kyobashi. We wanted to create a place where art, people, and the city responded to each other as if walking in a city and seeing art by chance. This is the museum entrance. The museum cafe has a large electric revolving door, which is a feature that directly connects to a future open space. This is a museum cafe. The foyer has a glass facade, which is a part of the art museum, but it is also symbolic of the city. The lobby for exhibition is a bright space where sculptures are placed as exhibition lobby. The museum facade utilizes the aged nature of unpainted iron itself. All exhibition rooms have an air conditioning system that releases air from joints in the flooring, and there's a newly developed museum spotlight for this museum. All spotlights are wirelessly controlled, allowing for dimming and tuning without having to climb to high places. This is the information corner. The wall finish is brass. This is the world's largest exhibition case using a 50-meter long thin panel of glass. We have designed a skyscraper suitable for the age of the environment to connect with a city of culture and history.
That brings the presentation to an end. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you have somehow felt the atmosphere of this building in the middle of Tokyo.
Thank you, Namasori and Kyobashi. The next project now is in Frankfurt at